was over. I was sitting back there.
Didn't mean to wake you up, Mark.
It was over when you got here. It was already.
All right, good evening, everybody. I would like to call to order the village board meeting for Monday, July 6, 2026. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Wilbrand.
Here.
Trustee Price.
Here.
Trustee Yeska.
Here.
Trustee Johnson.
Here.
Trustee Lapagianis. Trustee Anderly.
Here.
And President Nelson.
Present. Trustee Johnson, could you please lead us in the pledge?
Sure. Stand up, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving on to approval of the agenda. Any additions, corrections, or deletions to tonight's agenda as drafted? I'm going to handle it later.
Okay.
No changes suggested, so I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as drafted.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Second by trustee Anderly. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to President's Report, the Police and Fire Commission reappointments. Forgive me for one moment. So we have Jeff Mack, Todd Rowling, and Kevin Reinders. They all have expired terms, and I'm looking to reappoint them for 3-year terms. Any comments or questions? Okay, if someone could do me the favor of a motion to approve and ratify the reappointments of Jeff, Todd, and Kevin to the Police and Fire Commission per the stated expiration of terms, which are Jeff Mack, 4/30/2027, Todd Rowling, 4/30/2028, and Kevin Reinders, 4/30/2029.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you. So it was a motion by trustee Wilbrand and a second by trustee Yaska. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Wilbrand.
Aye.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
And Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. The only other thing I wanted to touch on tonight were the two meetings. Were the two meetings regarding the mall redevelopment. Joe, could you just give us a quick update on that?
Sure, we've tentatively identified 2 dates, Tuesday, the 28th of July, and Monday, the 31st of August. We have confirmed the availability of Emmett's upstairs. Director Scott is working with Housel Levine to confirm their availability, and we will put something in writing to the board formally once we have it all tidied up.
And I think since we all last discussed this as a group, the thought process has evolved a bit so that all of us would be there. So we would convene a meeting and all of us would be available to discuss it. I think the structure of the meeting remains fundamentally the same. We'll have probably a presentation and then we'll probably break up into segments so that residents can ask questions of us individually and kind of allow for a broader conversation. But more to come.
Planning and zoning and ARC will also be invited.
Wonderful.
Are they gonna discuss downtown too?
Yes, that's a good point. So Joe, obviously, Housel Levine will help with the mall piece, but the downtown activity, I think, is something we also want to touch on. So Tim, if you could just be prepared to help us make sure we include some of that in the presentation.
And then communication, when we, is that gonna be distributed? I know it's gonna be distributed to us, but is it gonna be posted or?
Yeah, that is the goal. So we'll have some nice branding for it, so it's clear that these are important meetings and that people are invited. And we will try to let's try to make sure that we have our notice out at least 30 days prior. Well, take that back. We can't do that now. Let's try to get it out by.
Our goal is have a newsletter out within the next two weeks, and the goal would be that would be the front page article.
Okay. Could we also get some notice out prior to that, just so people can prepare to be there?
We can do website
Okay,
and
thank you.
Facebook page, sure.
Just a correction, I think that's the 21st is Tuesday, not the 20th. Did you say July 21st?
28th?
28th,
Oh, 28th, sorry. I
last
thought I
week,
heard-
last week of both
I thought I
months,
heard
so it's a
20th.
non-board meeting month,
Okay.
it's non-planning and zoning.
Okay,
Got it.
that was good thinking. Okay, that's everything from me. Let's move on to reports and questions from trustees and working groups, starting with trustee Anderly.
I just have a question about the sign by First American Bank. Who's in charge of it?
Nobody. Downtown,
And can someone take charge? Because Peggy Meisner's asked me, she said, if I could give me the key, I'll go there and do something.
So it was the downtown businesses?
yeah,
that
Kim Strager,
Yeah.
when Kim retired, it was deferred back to us. No one in the downtown, I take that back. The arts, the antique guy, what was his name?
Joe Cordova or
Yeah,
something like
he
that.
took over for a very short time after,
He's gone.
and then he vacated, and so, no one, we offered it up to the downtown businesses, for somebody to take responsibility, and no one has, so.
Why don't we, when we take that over, and then presuming the communications position is approved at some point and filled, that'll be part of his or her job.
Sure.
Probably ideally it would be the business group, but,
Agreed, it's the
Yeah,
business
put it-
sign. It's,
right.
it's
Put
not
their,
actually a village sign, it was bought and paid for by the business community.
yeah,
But I
but maybe
think,
that person, first
Main
duty
Street
could, to
does.
get
Yeah.
them back on
yeah,
the
and-
job, yeah.
because obviously at least part of what I see is this person developing those relationships with the
Yeah,
business
yeah.
community, and maybe we can rally them to reorient towards the sign. But in the near term, I think people assume it's ours, so we should probably address that. But thank you for bringing that up, Trustee Anderley. Trustee Anderley, was there
That's it.
anything else? Okay, Trustee Alapajanis.
Actually, just, Joe was going over probably a lot of the stuff, but with regards to the Swiss Q print, that was a great ribbon cutting
Thank
in
you for
it.
setting that up.
A lot of communication, had a lovely discussion with Lexi and her husband and that. It was a great opportunity also to meet the owners of Swiss Q print, so that worked out really good. And the mayor's breakfast, I think, went fabulous.
Thank you for covering.
Yeah, we had a lot of great comments afterwards. People came up, I was shocked that there wasn't a lot of questions, but we covered everything. That's why there weren't a lot of questions. And, yeah, I think it went well. One point though, would you like me to see something through the chamber if I can facilitate something about that sign with some of the businesses? I mean, you tell me. I can try it and see if I can start and then
Even if it's just spelled correctly.
We've adjusted it,
Shopping.
it keeps moving, we've adjusted that sign at least 3 different occasions at my direction to Public Works, and it just,
Is it something Ron Meyer could fix permanently?
no, they're just the interchangeable letters, and sometimes with the wind, they get moved around and they need to be adjusted. It's just-
Unless anyone has any objection, sure.
I mean,
Please.
I can just talk to someone, see if somebody wants, and then we can take it forward. If they aren't interested, then they're not interested. But I have to try to facilitate something.
Okay, that sounds great, thank you. Trustee Johnson,
No, nothing but the agenda today.
okay, thank you. Trustee Huska,
I have nothing.
Trustee Price,
For the bike races, there's a couple of spots along the route that I think the holes are still in the ground, the cutouts for in the pavement that on Geneva. They are, okay, yeah,
We have a couple of things outside the project that we're doing,
okay,
cracks and things that we're doing. Speed bumps have to come out, there's a few
Right,
things we have
right.
to fix, yeah.
so, okay, so the course, because I mean, I think otherwise, for the most part, the road's in pretty good shape, but there was just those.
Yeah, we were on the template for that, like, that's your priority, is we can't have that.
Right.
Don't do it by the time the bike race, then we
Yeah, right,
would totally finish that, so.
perfect, thanks.
thank you. Anything else, Trustee Price?
No.
Trustee Wilbrant,
Eric, Third Street, or Oregon Street is rough as far as holes, and they've been open for a week, and you have to slalom through all the barricades, and I'm shocked nobody's dipped a tire in one of those holes, and it's about a foot down. How long do they typically carve it out and then leave it before they, I know they have to do the whole road because it's more efficient that way with the materials, but it's been a bit.
Normally, you would cut it, form it, then put gravel in it, and then call for your truck, and I know they wouldn't do everything. If we did, if we form it one day before that, if we do as many locations as we can't get anything less than, I think, half a truck. We would usually do a next day thing.
So we we've been going on a week now, probably on about Oregon Street, and
But you're referring to the concrete. The concrete's been done, now what's left is they're letting that cure and the asphalt's gotta go in now.
well, some on Oregon aren't even concrete yet, so it's still whole length of hole. And I know that like Third Street, I think, got the concrete, and they're just kind of jumping all over the place. So we don't have an update. They don't have they just kind of do it when they can.
We push on them every day. They really don't care. And like, we've kind of talked to them because of course they won the next bid.
And
This isn't, we're not, we made it clear, we're not gonna blend these two projects, right? We're gonna be done with phase one, then start phase two.
Okay.
We're thinking we could let, I think they were, well, we'll be lax days, so now we got time to finish this stuff. We don't have time to finish this stuff, get it done, so it's pretty much a daily thing with IEs. The difficulty is these are their subcontractors. We don't have all we have is a direct relationship with IHC. We don't have a direct relationship with the subcontractors to insist on timeframes. IHC has the ability to do so. And as Director Babcock has pointed out, we've been on them since March on restoration. And obviously,
So
our frustration is up.
So the issues that Trustee Wilbrand has brought up, we just can't address them? We can't
you
address
can
them?
tell them to speed up. They're not going to do
In
anything.
other words,
but-
we're talking to them every day, and I'll certainly bring it up again that they've been told day after day after day.
Can we put plates down until they get it done? If the holes are this significant?
Well, the plates are back on Oregon and
For the
Second.
large spaces.
Nobody likes the plates either, but because there's so much on-street parking in Old Town, it is a nightmare to get around, especially with Amazon trucks, UPS trucks, the garbage truck. I'm sure they haven't complained yet because they're like trying to get to the cans, and because of all the B boxes and everything like that, the guy's got to get out of the truck, roll the can over, so then there's stoppage in the block. So.
We went out last week and put some, coordinated with police, put some signs up where we knew a parking across from one of those locations would be an issue for an emergency vehicle or a garbage truck. And
Yeah.
that we did that. For them, yeah, I mean, we're gonna continue to pound on it. The challenge is, as soon as they got it to their subs, they were, as far as they were concerned, they were done with it. Right, doing hard on them, well, no, they're your subs, we don't have a contract with them. We have a contract with you, and we'd like you to.
Yeah.
And as I've said, as I've told the board, we've withheld any payments to IHC since March to attempt to get them motivated. So we've pulled out every arrow that we have in the quiver to try and get them motivated, but it hasn't translated into a completed project.
Is
So
it
And there's no end date? I mean, what I mean by end date, that a completion date that they're supposed to be done in the contract?
Start of phase two.
Isn't it like a breach of contract? I mean,
no, I mean, we don't have a specified timeframe for the completion. I think it was better than 12 months, and so February of 2027 would be the project end
Was
date.
the number two, and forgive me if I don't recall exactly who was number two, but do we have the second bidder to this? Is there something we could threaten not to continue our relationship with them?
Well, we've already awarded it, and I think the difference was in excess of a couple $100,000.
Okay.
They left a lot of money on the table, I mean, that thought it definitely
Sure.
crossed my mind.
It's hard to say. I mean, I trust you guys are doing what you can, but for us to say, we don't know, that's hard. That's a hard message.
Well, then the only thing left to do would be to pull the water. Right, they are making progress. It's just not the progress or the thoroughness that we would have appreciated to kind of bring it to a close. That would be, I guess the last step would be, you set a date, like, we ended up having to do that with MetroNet, right? Wrote a letter to their corporate office, you'll have everything restored by January 30th, and we're pulling your bond.
Okay, could we try something like that?
Sure.
Kathy, is that a letter maybe you could help draft?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, sorry for the impromptu discussion, but I know you guys are doing what you can, but and Trustee Wilbrand, thank you for bringing that up. Anything else you wanted to
Just
discuss?
a lot of concerns with parked cars overnight
Sure.
and garbage trucks.
Usually getting paid is sufficient motivation.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, thank you. Joe, anything else from the team? team.
No, nothing on the agenda.
One thing I am gonna start doing is, in the future, I am gonna be calling upon the department directors, like we used to do in the old days, just to give everyone a chance to say something instead of kind of the shorthand approach that I've been using for the last couple of years. So just know that going forward. All right, let's move on to questions from the audience. This is an opportunity for those in attendance to address the board on items that are both on the agenda and not on the agenda. So we'll start with the former items that are on the agenda. Moving on to items that are not on the agenda. Okay. We'll move on to the consent agenda items A through G. I do wish to pull the item E because it was not on the Liquor Commission agenda for tonight. It will come back on July 20th. So beyond that, we have items A, B, C, D, F, and G. Do I have a desire by any board member to remove any of the items from tonight's consent agenda?
Just a legal question. Due to the fact that trustee Anderley and I are on the commission for the downtown events, is there any kind of conflict with us voting on a consent agenda that deals with that committee? I'm sure
No,
liquor does it and,
no,
okay,
no,
Okay.
it's all the same family kind of.
got it.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, thank you. Any other changes or questions? Okay, as usual, I need to read the consent agenda. So item A is a ratification of payments for $1.4 million. Item B is approval of bill list for $406,000 and change. Item C is approval of minutes for the regular board meeting for June 1st, 2026. Item D is declaration of surplus equipment. Item F is daily liquor license for French Market 2026. And item G is daily liquor permit request for West Dundee River Challenge. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Price. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapigianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
And trustee Price.
Aye. All ayes, motion carries. Moving on to resolutions and ordinances, item A, ordinance increasing the members of the local liquor commission from 2 to 3, well, 3 to 4. You'll see that the appropriate citation is listed. I asked for this to align the liquor commission to something akin to what we have at the village board, where I typically don't vote, and the body comprised of commissioners does in this case, or would. So that is why I'm asking for an additional member on the board. It also allows us to have a little bit more flexibility if somebody's unable to make the meeting. Okay. Would anyone care to make that motion? Item A, ordinance increasing members of the local liquor control commission.
I can do that.
Thank you, trustee Yeska. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Anderly. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapigianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Abstain?
And trustee Price.
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 abstention, motion carries. As you might have inferred, trustee Wilbrandt will be the new additional member. Item B, 745 South 8th Street, ordinance approving a special use permit to allow massage therapy and permanent makeup services at Beauty Suite Salon. Trustee Price.
Yeah, items B and C actually are nearly identical, but for two different businesses, but I'm pretty sure I have to do them separately.
Yeah.
So the first one is essentially an existing business that is desiring to provide massage therapy and permanent makeup. Anything else to add?
The same model applies to both, the idea of the multiple concepts within one broader salon suites business.
Yeah.
This happens to enable that larger salon suites business to have a tenant, if you will, they're currently behind. So we've got Century Plaza and Posh, which is up north, basically doing the same things, and the same purpose.
Yep. And they were both recommended for approval unanimously by planning and zoning.
All right, comments or questions? All right, trustee Price, you have the floor for the next two.
All right, move to approve an ordinance approving special use permits to allow massage therapy and permanent makeup services at Beauty Suites Salon located at 745 South 8th Street.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Alpagianis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
No.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
And Trustee Wilbrand.
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 nay, motion carries. Trustee Price.
Yep, so this one is for Posh Salon, again, similar to the last one. So I'll just go ahead and make the motion. unless
Okay,
there's a
fair enough.
Separate.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Alpagianis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
No.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
And Trustee Wilbrand.
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 nay. Joe, I assume that we do inspections of these, and that, I thought we'd made a change years ago that these services need to have a licensed massage therapist, so it's not improvised.
That's part of the process by which they're granted their business registration is that anybody who is employed is an applicant.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to item D, ordinance amending zoning regulations to add definition for children's play sets. So trustee Price.
Yeah, so, children's play sets are typically exempt from some of the normal building code type things, just, to make them play sets. And, but to avoid play sets turning into other things that, that aren't play sets, wanted to have a better definition, or actually a definition of what a play set is, and so staff put this together. Thomas, anything to add, or anything you want to say about it?
Nope, this ordinance, it's not limiting size, it's just creating a definition, so any play sets that are out there homemade or prefabbed don't turn into a shed or anything of that nature.
And then there's, on the dais, there's an amendment to the language, just the last sentence.
Yeah, the
is
highlighted.
Basically a typo, so.
Comments or questions?
I asked Thomas some questions before the meeting today, and there's really nothing that we could change based on the zoning code, or is it the international zoning, or who normally oversees the playset question that we had talked about? What book of code is that?
So I think there's two parts. One is the size or where it's located on the lot. That would be the zoning code. And I think that's something Tim was looking at with planning and zoning and tying in gazebos and sheds and all that stuff with children's play structures. Then the building code is what exempts, in their exemptions, they exempt certain things like driveways, right? There's no building code for driveways. And then swing sets and other playground equipment is exempt from any type of foundation requirements, guardrails, stair, slides, just because part of what makes them fun is they don't meet code for those types of things. But
And I was just shocked when I asked some of those questions that those play sets don't need to be anchored or have a foundation, or it's kind of just, hey, you go and get it and set it down on the ground, hope the wind doesn't blow it over into somebody's house like a trampoline or something like that. So based on that being the existing language, I don't think there's anything we can do about it to make foundation requirements. But the example I keep using, and I know a lot about this from my experience, but a gazebo, a 4-post structure, that has to be, or did have to be, rooted in concrete footers or some other means to the ground, and that's an open-sided structure. Now, I know it could take off as a wind sail, but if you have a large play structure too, especially with the winds we've been getting lately, that's something that's susceptible, if it's not rooted in the ground or properly anchored, that it could just blow over and tumble.
We could apply our own, sort of building requirements, like, foundation or something like that, right? I mean, there's nothing preventing us from doing that.
well, and I think I've turned to Attorney Orr, where based on some of the liabilities of playground equipment, if something were to happen, you know, if we have a deck and somebody falls off a deck, we could look at it and say, was the guardrail high enough? Were the spindles spaced? All of that stuff. I think the idea is with the completely stepping away from any building code requirements, it kind of, I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, releases us from.
No, we would not be liable. The issue is, it's more than imposing restrictions on play. You'd have to have a permit, because how else would you make sure?
To get a play structure?
Sure, because how else would you be able to mandate? So you're setting up a whole new process if you do that. I'm not worried about liability, because we're not liable for issuing a permit and then someone doesn't build it correctly. That's not our problem, because for the size.
So the liability's on the
The
manufacturer.
liability is on the homeowner. You put up
Well,
a mess,
them too,
you're
probably, but yeah.
responsible.
Right,
But it is.
you have so much different variety in terms of structure, play set equipment. You have the plastic Rubbermaid stuff, you have the homemade 2x4, 4x4 approach, and then you have what's being constructed down on Edwards, which is a significantly sizable project. So, and they run the gamut of all that. So, kind of creating a
whole new world.
Yeah, consistency.
Because of the permitting requirement would be the only way you could enforce the safety measures you're talking about. So it's not liability, it's very difficult, and that's why 99% of the towns in Illinois do not permit play equipment.
And I've talked to Thomas a bunch about this. I know that that's the standard, and it's just shocking to me that there isn't some kind of, and I guess there's a variation like Joe said, but there isn't some kind of requirement for foundation, or at least like attachment to the ground in some way, where there is for so many other things we do that require a permit in West ND. But at the end of the day, if it truly is a play structure that falls under the building code like we discussed, I guess that's the way it is. It's just, it seems counterintuitive to other structures that we do permit.
Thomas, would it be possible to easily ascertain how many towns around us have a permitting process for play sets?
Sure, I kind of did a quick survey, and I could put it in writing and share with the board of, you know, kind of our typical survey area. And I made sure really nobody around us has taken that exemption out. For example, one of them is fences under 7 feet are exempt. Well, we've taken that exemption out because we permit fences.
Yeah.
I haven't found one, but I could look further and see if I
So you're
can
saying
find-
nobody regulates them
No.
that you've talked to so far?
I think
Okay.
the issue too is, okay, we can say you need a permit, but we still will have the problem of people not getting permits anyway and having a road plague structure in the backyard. So I don't think that fixes the problem.
Well, and
by
then
permitting it.
and then the concern I have is that you have this gamut of structures for the play sets, and one set of methodology may be inappropriate for that set of play sets. So how are we managing?
Like a Rubbermaid set wouldn't necessarily be anchored.
Right.
I think this is a good first step. Just in the future, possibly we review and see how this went. If we get a bunch of rogue play sets all over the place.
Well,
This
this
is
kind
really
of
the
doesn't
first-
change.
This is the first one we've really had.
How big is this place set?
It's big.
Okay, because I'm on this Gorilla one, and they've got them like up to $4,000.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then with their installation, and not the homeowner installing it, but actual installation.
Yeah, we
by the company,
found
yeah.
Rainbow and the other ones. I mean, they have some fairly substantial
Right.
Well,
places.
the bigger ones, at least in my experience, because we design some of these things, you know, for work and stuff, and most of the manufacturers have standard details for foundations and stuff like that. And that's the biggest thing, is like wind load and stuff, is making sure they don't take off. And
Is this something we want, kind of building off that, is this something we want P&Z to kick around?
Well, I think Director Scott is looking at it from the coverage aspect as it relates to gazebo structures and play sets as a totality of what can be constructed in a backyard, and that would have to go through planning and zoning if we do take a look at that.
Makes sense.
Okay, but,
We're taking a holistic look at this right now.
thank you. Okay, well, more to come, but we have at hand the ordinance adjustment, and as staff said, it is the first step. So trustee Price, you have the floor.
Yeah, move to approve an amendment to Title 10, Chapter 2 of the West Dundee Municipal Code as attached.
Motion.
Second.
Second by trustee Yaska. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Thank you, Thomas. All right, moving on to new business. Item A, 2026 Fire Department Turnout Gear Purchase. Trustee Wilbrandt.
Chief is here. Fire department is looking for roughly 4 to 5 sets of turnout gear to constantly maintain and update and replace and cycle through our current supply of turnout gear. Turnout gear is individual to each firefighter paramedic. So due to turnover and things like that, you can't just buy 30 sets and hope for the best over the course of 10 years. It happens. So I think this is a good approach to do them in small waves at a time, keep the prices down, even though the prices are going up of everything. But what's before you today is approximately 4 to 5 sets of turnout gear as itemized for approximately $25,000.
Thank you for that overview. Any comments or questions? Trustee Wilbrandt.
With that, I make a motion to approve the purchase of turnout gear and protective equipment from Air One Equipment in an amount not to exceed $25,683.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, we'll give it to trustee Alapajanis. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
And Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to item B, scale server purchase adjustment. Trustee Yaska.
This is something that we approved earlier in the year, but the company was, the increase got to be too great that they cannot hold the price that we had agreed to. So they've kind of met us halfway based on the pressure you put on them to pretty much split the difference of the increase. And we will get the equipment still this week or something, right?
4 to 6 days it'll ship after approval. And this was nothing that we were expecting. You know, we went into this in February with clear communication with them that if it was approved, they would hold the price. And unfortunately, the suppliers with everything, they changed their method. And, you know, you can see in the emails back and forth that we put some really hard pressure on them. I talked to Attorney Orr about it, and the best that they did was they split the difference with us, and we have to absorb it. If we don't do this, the price is just going to continue to go up, and we have aging servers.
So purchase order is not a contract?
It is. It is, but you know how you enforce a contract? You sue them.
You sue them.
Yeah.
And the cost of legal enforcement and suit is an expensive process. More importantly, it's the time element. So that when we discussed it, it was, are we better served to split the price or to remain firm? They signed a purchase contract, they agreed to a price, do we hold them to it? But are we shooting ourselves in the foot?
So if we
That
win,
was-
we still lose, basically.
Right, you still lose because you don't have the equipment, and then you have to go out for bid again, and everybody's gone out. So it's not a good, it's just not good.
All right.
Okay, trustee Yaska.
I move to authorize an amended purchase order to Scale Computing through CDW Government in the amount of $200,049.10 per quote, #PXHG451, dated June 16th, 2026, for the village's virtual server infrastructure upgrade, and direct staff to proceed with the project.
Motion. Going once.
Second.
Second by trustee Anderly. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt. And Trustee Price.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to item C, Communications Special Events Management Analyst position. This is under me. This is something that we as a group have talked about within the last 4 weeks. I think there is support. The position that's described here has a lot of responsibilities. If we are to make a decision, there will be an unbudgeted fiscal impact. That's something we need to take into account. But as discussed previously, we wanted to have the conversation as soon as possible, and that's why we're talking about it today. Joe, anything to add?
No, I mean, we've talked about this position and these responsibilities. I think the board has directed that they want to prioritize, particularly the communication and the social media and communications aspect. Staff has been advocating for increased managerial support positions within Village Hall for the last several years, so this is a logical pursuit of that. And as based on the budget this year, we elected not to include it, but I think based on some conversations with the board and President Nelson, there's been a desire to now prioritize this.
And if I'm correct, speaking with Attorney Orr, you made a comment recently that every community that you represent has a PR person. We're the only one that doesn't.
In communities of your size, of our size here.
This is something I've been talking about for years, and some of my background before going to law school was in communications, and it seems like we've reached kind of critical mass at the Village of West Dundee where we've expanded population, we've expanded activities, we have a lot going on both between fire and police, that a lot of efficiencies can be made with communication to residents, where they would post on Facebook and then there'd be mass confusion, and it would be nice to point to a single voice in West Dundee that's just posting on our behalf to get the correct and accurate information out at all times, that's fueled by each one of the departments sending it through that channel. And with the advent of Facebook and the social media commenters and things like that, especially as we go through the mall project and just communicating to our residents, here's our events, here's what we're going to talk about in terms of the mall project, and lend your voice to this, come out over to Emmett's and participate in this meeting. It's a bigger role than kind of just we'll get there when we get there. And as we saw over the last year, the need with a couple major police department incidents, speedy communication can help calm a whole bunch of fears and rumors and things like that. Gone are the days where the newspaper used to come and sit in our meetings and write a story about what we talk about. The use of the recording at the meetings is great. I hope somebody's listening on behalf of the news and things like that so we can get our important messages out. But having someone that speaks for ourselves and gets that information out there is able to help participate in marketing while we're talking about downtown businesses, being the funnel for Boxwood's having a sale, or Bamboozles is doing this, and getting it through the channel so West Dundee can support West Dundee, and being able to help participate with the events committee and other tasks at Village Hall. Nobody likes to save money more than me, but I think at this point in critical mass in West Dundee, to help update our residents at all times about communication, control the websites and social media, I think this is an extremely important position that we can't do any longer without.
Well said. Any other comments or
Two
questions?
things.
Yes.
I think you're talking about two different people here. I don't think somebody who's a PR person is necessarily an analyst person unless you already know someone. So I think it's a wonderful idea in like maybe a year from now, and then it should be split into two. Maybe have a part-time management analyst and the full-time PR person. But I don't think you're gonna find, or you're gonna have an easy time finding a PR person that also wants to go through data that way. I think a PR person is more a personality. They want to be out there meeting people and talking and creating. So that would be my suggestion.
You said you had 2 points. Were those
Yeah,
both?
but I blended them
You did,
together.
okay, fair enough.
I kind of had the same thought was,
Yeah.
because that, all of those three things come in one person. So, I mean, I think if we can find them, awesome, but, you know, maybe it has to evolve eventually.
So
to two spots, but,
would
yeah.
a reasonable compromise be we try to post it this way and then with knowing that the PIO piece is the predominant or the kind of the preferred?
Yeah, I mean, from the municipal perspective, I think these are three very, similarly minded positions.
You think the analyst fits?
Oh, yeah, because I mean, anyone that basically came up through a public information system or a municipal governmental system has kind of had that background and had that kind of relationship within a municipality. And so, you know, working on a couple spreadsheets, I mean, I'm viewing the communication as an important part of this as well as the special events, but I will be very candid. I don't know that it's going to be a, you know, 8-hour a day, fully embraced type of responsibility. So there is going to be the opportunity for downtime and the ability to kind of all hands on deck, as we all have within the department managers, do more than what's really put on our job descriptions. And the management analyst kind of fills that role, that position out.
Yeah, I have no objection to attempting to fill that. I just, you know, just kind of thinking ahead that may or may not be as easy to get
I
along,
think, yeah, I was reading the same thing. I think that the comments from you, Tom, and from Cheryl, that I think we definitely need a communications person. We need, you know, I've made it, you know, I think I've said in the past, like, our website needs improvement. I mean, there's still stuff on there from November, right? That whole thing needs to be cleaned up. We've got enough, we're gonna have a lot of activity going on with what's going on with the mall, with what's going on downtown here, right? I just don't wanna, I wanna make sure we find the right person for the role. And most people that I know from a communications perspective and event planning perspective, that's kind of their niche. And if you can fill in the other spot, great, but I think the focus needs to be on the communications piece and the, you know, the event piece, right? And generally those types of individuals tend to have a unique skill set, right? I get the fact that you may want to fill in, right? But I think that's where the focus needs to be.
And you are gonna go kind of our normal acquisition process, like get HR Gov or whatever to.
No, this would be an internal, unless the board tells me
Okay.
you want a full-blown department manager level search at 25,000. That was not the intention.
Yeah, okay.
The intention was to market this as we do through our professional agencies and LinkedIn and a couple of the other as specifically for this position under this
Let's address
responsibility.
that piece is the board.
If it becomes
Believing that we should,
necessary, right?
okay,
Yeah.
do we want to recruit through the,
Well, I guess let's go ahead and start. If we get a great candidate, let's do that. But if it turns out, it seems like possibly. we would
Trustee
be-
Wilbrant, you were about to say something?
And I was listening to what everybody's saying. I don't think everybody's disagreeing about this.
No.
I think the issue is, and how I see it, is a time management equation of there'll be priority. Obviously, some have talked about it, but for me, the priority would be on PR communication, updating relationships and the systems and social media and things like that. And Joe, if that's accurate, you know, that doesn't fill a whole day. Obviously, West Indy operates on an all hands on deck. So somebody that has that background, additionally, fantastic. If that person can be found through our channels, great. But I think the issue is really the position is needed. The time management and separation is what's to be determined based on need and use, and it's just going to be kind of where the board directs that need, I suppose, and ultimately Joe.
I have a
I'm sorry,
question.
please.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at two different numbers. What are,
I think that's the range,
I'm-
correct, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So,
don't-
because I do think we're gonna have to hire in the middle or above, probably the
Well, it's
top
gonna be
half of that
depending
range.
on
well, if I'm
qualifications.
gonna have just a media person, I'm not gonna wanna pay them $105,000. I'm sorry. That's just, to me, a lot of money.
Unfortunately, I think that's on
Just-
the low
Just to
end.
do the media
I think just.
and not do anything else?
Well,
think-
I mean, there's three different things this person's supposed to be doing, so that would be.
Okay, but I mean, so,
Look at that job description.
Why,
There's
no, I
there's a
know.
lot in there.
Right,
There's
but
a
I
lot
mean,
to
we were just talking about, I mean, because it was, I just want to understand that we're just not doing this just for this. I mean, you were saying about a management analyst, maybe they wouldn't want to, a communication person wouldn't want to do the management analyst. If we're if everything is all included and it's just not a singular, just fixing our website, doing this, doing that, doing all these other things, then I don't have a problem with that, but I just singularly, this whole position, I think, as a whole, is great.
Yeah, like 75 to 80 is not uncommon. I'm in the media business, 75, 80 to start your, that's low end usually.
Yeah.
Usually you get 3 years out of college, 75, 80 is normal.
Yeah.
So,
And I think this isn't a typical 9 to 5 job either, because the police department isn't going to need an immediate PR person at 10 o'clock in the morning during working hours. It happens, and I know this from experience, it happens at 2 a.m. when we need to get a message out to residents. So this is if that's what it ends up being, that's a fair salary, and we're lucky, and that's a unicorn. But this is one of those things where like the job isn't just here's a checklist of things we need to do. That's what happens during the day. But there's a lot of it that is off hours on weekends. We would want this person to work with Tim and make those relationships with the businesses and get the communication flowing. It's really a miscellaneous thing by its nature.
What do you guys think about using GovHR?
My sense is let's try and
Correct.
not use it.
Okay.
But if we need to, then that could be a backup.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do a national search or anything like that. I mean, those are great, but unless, like Joe said, we're doing full director position and going that route, this is a.
Okay.
This is a staff position, so. And just to give you, from a perspective, the management analyst aspect of it, two good examples of projects that I would associate with this position. The annual municipal comparison that's done, this position is quite capable of collecting that data and keeping it updated and putting that in a format that's shared with the community. The sculptures, in conjunction with East Dundee and West Dundee, for the footbridge, special event, a special project, that would be something that position I would envision that they have the ability to manage and oversee, just as Caleb Haydock in East Dundee has taken on that project as his management analyst position. So, it's not like this is just office, grunt work, spreadsheet type stuff. This is where I would envision this position has some ability to help take off some of the responsibilities that are burdening Village Hall on a day-to-day basis and continue to grow. Okay.
And I don't disagree, and I can speak to this because in grad school, a lot of us, for communications grad school, a lot of us went different ways. I know somebody that became very similar to this position, a management analyst, and I asked him, I went a totally different direction with my communications background, but I said, what do you do on a daily basis? And he goes, people always ask me, and what I tell them is, I take stats and numbers and put them into stories and words and communicate that. And I'm like, wow, there you go. That's a one-sentence answer for management analyst.
Yep. So I think there's agreement, and I think we have a structure of how to recruit, so I would entertain a motion to.
Can I just add one other question? So this isn't in the budget, so we'll have to pay for it somehow, but next year it'll have to be in the budget, and the year after that, and the year after that.
Yep.
So I just thinking ahead to when we go to try and, kind of do our budgets and what our tax
revenues are gonna be for the following year. You know, it seems like every time we go through this process and there's kind of pushback to increasing it even at all. And so I just wanna make sure that, you know, we all are on the same page that this is going to cost money and we gotta pay for it when it comes time to pay, you know, comes to taxes.
And I'll feel
Our
that, 'cause I
tax
think that's
revenue.
directed towards me, and my point every year is, there are lots of places where I vote yes and no on things that cost money or don't cost money. So for necessary things, yes, I think it's a good need, and I think it's a good expenditure. Throughout the year, I'll vote no on things where I don't see that, so it's not always at the end, we added something, so we gotta vote yes on the package or the tax increase. It's not a one-to-one correlation, so, but yes, I agree with you, I do realize that this would cost money, and, that's accounted for in the budget and in the taxing.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee-
And I agree that it's a good position, we need that too.
Thank you. Trustee Huska.
I was going to make the motion, but we tabled this last meeting, so the date on here is July 1st. Should I change it to August 1st? Or does
Oh,
it
it doesn't
matter?
matter.
So we can approve something from, or
Retroactive?
should I make it tonight?
Well, it's just you're creating a position effective July 1st or
So it's
July 6th, whatever, I mean,
Make it tonight, yeah.
yeah. I mean, the point was, we were trying to get it into
Okay.
it recognizing for a 6-month, it was coming in as a 6-month point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I move to approve and create the Communications and Special Events Management Analyst position effective July 6, 2026 as proposed, and to conduct external staff-supported recruitment process for qualified candidates.
Motion. Do I have a second? Second by trustee Wilbrandt. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Yuska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
No.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
Trustee Price.
Aye.
5 ayes, 1 nay, motion carries. Moving on, yes. Why I'm
This
having
is
trouble.
something that's been needed for a while. We're finally getting to it. And this is just phase 1, right?
Yep. That's phase 1 engineering for
Phase
the
one
new Liberty
engineering.
Lift Station.
Get the ball rolling finally.
And then this will be, the intent is to seek IEPA funds for
Right, reminder,
construction ultimately.
we bought this piece of property at the dead end of Liberty several years ago with the intention of creating the new Liberty lift station, which basically services the entire north end of town via sanitary sewer. When the river comes up, we've had some problems, had to do some bypass pumping, but we also recognize that this is probably a significant couple million dollar endeavor, and so what we wanted to do was authorize phase 1 engineering, and then see what we can do to secure some grant funding through the state or the IEPA on a long-term basis. This is a project we know we need. It's not it's not a today needed project, but it's somewhere down the road, and we think this is the appropriate first step, and the intention is to try and secure grant funding for a significant portion of the funding.
Comments?
What does that look like when it's done?
It'll look like 3rd Street, down at the end of, at South End Park.
Something like that on
brick
a
house.
little bit smaller
A
scale.
little brick house? Okay. I didn't know how
With
to-
no windows.
Yeah, architecturally correct.
Yeah.
Fake windows.
Bomb shelter.
This stuff looks nice.
Yeah.
Okay, trustee Huska.
I move to approve a phase 1 engineering services proposal with Baxter and Woodman for replacement of the Liberty Street lift station at a cost not to exceed $15,000.
Motion. Second by trustee Price. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Yuska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
And Trustee Price.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Moving on to item A, professional services proposal for SCADA upgrade. Trustee Huska.
Well, just as it says, it's time to upgrade. Everything's going to the cloud now, and we need to adapt our situation. And I mean, this has been in place for
Long time, yeah. So it's kind of two parts. The old part is regardless of where we're moving, the system is, I think, coming up on a couple decades old, so just needs a refresh. But then it's totally incompatible with the village's move to the cloud, so it would stop working at that moment. So we looked for a solution with Concentric that is inherently cloud-based, so it would be seamless.
Makes sense.
I move to approve a professional services proposal with Concentric integration for SCADA system upgrades at a cost of $148,100.
Motion. Second. We have a second from trustee Price. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
And Trustee Price.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Last item, authorization to purchase utility line locator. Trustee, Trustee Yeska. First try.
Vote.
Yeah, so this is, when we go out, we have to locate all of our underground facilities anytime someone wants to dig through the Julie system. We're mandated by law to do that. We have an aging system that we're gonna hold on to. This is both an upgrade in the fact that there's so much underground work going now, we have to deploy more than one person to kind of keep up with our obligation on it. So with all the, obviously the fiber's all the rage, but all the construction projects, we have more Julies to do in a single day than one person can do. We'll get a second unit and then get an upgraded, modern unit. Our unit is, again, probably 20 years old, but we are gonna hold on to that for a while because it works.
This is one of those areas that I think the board just doesn't necessarily see on a day-to-day basis that has become very time-consuming for public works and staff on a consistent basis. I mean, we've got dedicated individuals, sometime with 10 or 12 Julie locates in a single day that, you know, takes one individual the entire day to do it. And so that individual is not available to us for A, B, or C.
It behooves us to be accurate, so we're not out there with something hit of ours, you know.
We see the main break emails every day.
Right.
So we get it.
Okay, Trustee Yeska.
I move to authorize Public Works to purchase a utility line locator at a cost of $7,909.
Motion. Second. Second by Trustee Price. Any additional discussion or comment? Hearing none. Madam Clerk?
Trustee Yeska.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Lapagianis.
Aye.
Trustee Anderly.
Aye.
Trustee Wilbrandt.
Aye.
And Trustee Price.
Aye.
All ayes, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for the good of the order? Okay, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Johnson, a second by Trustee Yeska, I believe. Any additional discussion, or who said it? I'm sorry.
Second.
I think there were
All
two
right,
motions.
we'll
and
give
no
a trustee,
seconds.
trustee Alapagianis was our second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned.